Pepper with a special video report based on the Brexit vote, which rather unexpectedly has voted to leave the EU. Now, as far as I'm concerned, this is actually just the first move in a game of chess, really. So, pawn to king 4. It's what happens next that's important. The actual vote itself just starts a negotiation process, which I believe will probably keep us in the EU, but hopefully a much better EU, a more democratic EU, a freer EU, and a more dynamic EU that perhaps has less regulations, especially for the toothbrush, and which can compete because of that lack of regulations in worldwide markets and start to develop and grow. That's my basic start on this. So, okay, we expect markets to overreact. That's what they do. A few comments. Pitfox has said that change brings opportunity, and it's our job to take opportunities when they arise. Markets overshoot. I'll be looking to fade the hysteria. I agree totally. So far today, I've bought the pound. I've sold some gold. I bought DAX, and I think that fading hysteria is the order of the day. Another trader just said glorious day, which I think sums up the same basic idea. Now these kind of markets are vicious, and you could see huge moves. So I'm not going to make any recommendations at this point. You've either done what you think you need to do, or you're better off standing aside. In my view, it's not a question of what I'm trying to say. It's not a question of you should be involved. Clearly, you shouldn't be involved unless you're happy with these kind of markets. For me, it's sort of what I like best in some ways, but don't come anywhere near this market if you're not happy with it. I mean, that's sort of common sense, I think. So I'm just going to run through a few markets, make a few observations. Really, I think it's pretty clear that very few people expected this vote. I certainly didn't expect the vote. So everybody I spoke to thought that the Remained camp would win. So I didn't realise it was quite so close. I did in fact I did bet with IG on Brexit only because the price was, I could sell at 85 on a binary. It's more of a hedge actually. Anyway, that obviously worked out. But so far, we look at the pound. It's fallen from 150 yesterday down to 130. Now that is clearly an overreaction. As I say, this is just the first move in a game of chess. It's not something, that what actually happens will be a question of negotiation. It will not be something that's. So this doesn't really change anything as far as I'm concerned. But I'm not political. I'm not a political animal. I think the devil is in the detail. Cameron has now resigned. In 3 months' time, I suspect his hope is that within 3 months' time he will have established a position where he can actually stay. But that is something else which we can see how it goes. However, one thing that is certain is that there is certainly more uncertainty now. I think that uncertainty, well, obviously I believe it can be used positively, but that's not to say that it will be used positively. There's a whole raft of risk in the situation, although I believe there was quite a lot of risk in the previous situation, so it depends how you look at it. If we look at the rally on the pound so far, let's go down a leg. Well, so far we have a pretty clear 5-wave advance off the low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we may see a bit of a pullback at this point. Support around 135 thereabouts, 135, 136. I'm not quite sure how much of a bounce we're going to get here. I suspect this low will not be taken out. I could be wrong about that, obviously. But it looks to me like we just had this complete overreaction. Thin markets overnight. Huge spreads being created by IG. So I would think we're going to bounce back to, well, I doubt we're going to hit 1.5 again, but I would think this rally might continue, although I think it's probably time for a bit of a pullback on the pound dollar. Right, gold's an interesting position. If we count this as a complete 5 to there, this now counts as a complete 2-wave, and so we've now got a third of a third coming in. I have taken profits on gold, I think around 130, not far away from current levels actually. Not sure here. This could be a 1, 2, but third waves aren't meant to have quite such a deep sell-off, so not quite sure where we are on gold at this point in time. It looks like we should be long. It's just a question of digesting this maybe somewhat over-enthusiastic move, so maybe that needs to be digested before we go higher. has rather distorted the wave pattern, but looking positive. Alright, silver's similar here. We've got 5 waves up to there. Looks like a corrective 2 wave. 1, 2, and again there's just like, actually it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it could be 1 of 3 of 3, so we could now need to have a bit of a consolidation, maybe spot around 17. Maybe I think we're basically looking for a base here. I think we need to just, I think the market's going to take some time to digest what's happened, but I think we're going to be building a base on silver and gold on which to. So we want to be long at that point. I have, as I mentioned, I've taken profits on my spread bets. I've kept all my coins, all my shares, etc., etc., ETFs, etc. So that's my stance. So I'm still basically long, very long gold and silver, but my actual spread betting position is being reduced. I should mention a couple of things. VIX, I took profits on the VIX. The VIX has had a huge boost, obviously, with this going on. I've taken profits on my IG position. I've left my ETF in place. Again, I think we may have seen I think this is a hysterical move, if that's the right word, based on this news. I'm not sure it's going to continue. I think probably that hysteria is going to wind down. So for that reason, I've taken the profits on the VIX, on the IG. I could be wrong. Maybe we're going to see some devastating move. But I can't see any particular reason for it, because, as I say, this is really just the first move in the process. There's lots that can happen to keep the UK in the EU. I'd say hopefully a better EU. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm not a political animal, but that seems to be the situation to me. We've now got an opportunity to improve our lot within Europe. I think it's probably the best thing we can do. We want the best of both worlds. We want the freedom to trade worldwide, get rid of all these ridiculous laws, but retain the European unity in a different format. So to me, it's just a great opportunity, and I think Glorious Day sort of sums it up. Really, it gives us a good bargaining position. So that's the VIX. I was also short naked calls and naked puts. The 1,000-point drop didn't actually bother me. Surprisingly, it didn't make much difference on the DAX. I thought it might do. I've now bought the DAX. Let's switch to the DAX. That's a point. Okay, what's the best way to count this? Peak there, A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C possibly. That would sort of give us a fairly good count into that low. Same point really. I think we may have seen the end of the hysteria. That market's gone too fast. It's correcting. Common sense will start to resume. Remains to be seen. Let's have a look at this shorter. We do have a possible 5 waves developing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sort of a pullback maybe down to here somewhere. Followed by perhaps more upside. Again, it's very difficult to judge what might happen in this situation, because we've got markets, as we all know from the madness of crowds, various books on market psychology, tends to be very emotional, tends not to think very much. You tend to get these sort of wild moves which don't really necessarily have any bearing in reality, and our job is to phase that stuff. If we see stuff that we think makes no sense, then as Pitt Fox says, it provides opportunities. But these markets can obviously turn on a dime, and who knows what might happen. But currently, this looks a fairly positive response. We went down to about 9,150 thereabouts, so we rallied almost 500 points to this point. So that's a pretty good response. Looks fairly solid. Not much selling coming in. Actually, the markets are pretty thin. This is an overnight move, so markets are pretty thin overnight. Now I've got a lot more people involved, and they're lapping up the lower prices. Right, I've just taken profits on the my long position on the DAX. We'll see how this pullback comes back. If it's a wave form, that might hold. It might go a bit further. It's seen a good rally. I think it's okay. Not a huge amount more to say. I'll follow this up with obviously the weekend report. I think this is a positive situation, certainly potentially positive. Obviously there is uncertainty, which well, exasperated by thin markets overnight, I would say. Be good if the pound recovered. I'm not too keen that the pound being quite so low, obviously. Although I have holdings in dollars and euros, it's good to have a strong pound as well. On the question of chess, I do have a chess app. I do play chess occasionally. If anybody is interested, do let me know. Quite nice to find more opponents. Please get in touch if you want to talk about regarding this action today. Otherwise, have a great day. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.